Hey, Freddy. Have you been waiting up this whole time?
Yeah? A goat man sends you off into the night. Your life is on the line. And I'm gonna, sleep? What if you were taken prisoner, kept in a cave by a cyclops, or I don't know, turned into a tree? I was worried sick.
Sorry for worrying you. I thought you were gonna come with me. To look at the apartment, actually.
You were worried about me? Aw.
Well, you're my best friend in the whole world, Grace. Plus, what would the band do?
Right, the band. Where are Kaz and Brian anyway?
I told them you were fine, which isn't a lie, because technically you are. Now tell me everything that happened. Huh. Persephone runs a club called the Underworld. That's a little on the nose.
I wouldn't suggest saying that to her face.
And you ended up staying with her instead of Apollo? I don't know, Grace. She sounds a little volatile.
Yes, but she has connections. Oh, they gave me like 2 seconds to think about it, okay? I didn't have much time.
She has her reasons. I just hope I don't end up on her bad side again.
You'll figure your way out of it. You're still you.
I am still me. That's true.
So what are your options? You need to go back to Persephone at some point?
I could go back to Apollo's as well. Make sure he's not sore about what happened.
Oh, and, there's this. Pan left a card, says, "Come by Olympus." I doubt he means the mountain in Greece.
By the way, the photo behind Freddy, is that like our high school graduation pic or something? Because we didn't graduate from college, right?
I just spoke to him at the Underworld. If he wanted something, why didn't he just talk to me there?
Because he's creepy and wants to get you alone?
Still not a fan?
You know how some people just set your teeth on edge? That's Pan. I can't help it. But it doesn't matter. I said I'd help, and that's what I'll do. You can count on me, Grace.
Thanks, Freddy.
The Muse? Oh, the embodiment of inspiration. Can you believe it?
Yeah, kinda.
Can I only do one thing? I should go talk to Persephone or go see what Pan wants. Apollo's not one of those three, or those two, so can I? I wish it was a little bit clearer how much I could do. But I'm pretty sure our journal has more stuff going on here. Freddy was at the apartment when Pan arrived, so I had to tell her everything. Part of me feels bad for getting her involved, but I have to admit, none of this felt quite real until I did. If anyone can figure this out, she can. Greek mythology has been her thing since 7th grade, and I'm glad she was there to back me up during the song with Pan. When we put our heads together, we can handle anything. And of course, Freddy was waiting up when I got back from the Underworld. She apologized for how things went down with Pan during the song, but honestly, I get it now. My power draws the good and bad out of people, and I don't always get to choose which it'll be. At any rate, it's good that I have Freddy on my side during all of this. Yeah, Freddy. If my best friend has bad vibes about people, I would tend to be on their side. Although I don't necessarily think that Pan is a bad person, but it counts for something. It appears that Calliope was staying at an apartment, one that belongs to Persephone of all people, and it's actually not too far from mine. Could that be where Calliope was attacked? Am I crazy for agreeing to go check it out by myself? Calliope was one of 3 idols called the Muses, the last one still living according to Apollo. Once they were his constant companions, but in the last few years they grew apart. Calliope was angry at how the idols had lost their way and apparently argued with everyone a lot. Which doesn't sound like the Calliope I met at all. If it's true, it means she wasn't the most popular idol, and there may be more suspects than I imagined. Well, we met her for all of 5 minutes. I visited Calliope's apartment. It was gorgeous, filled with every musical instrument you can imagine, and memorabilia dating back, I don't know, 100 years or more. She had everything she could possibly want or need at her fingertips. Is this what it means to be the Muse? Apparently, after years of arguing with the idols and making everyone angry, Calliope finally left Olympus, and that's when she became friends with Persephone, who gave her the apartment. However, Persephone says they haven't spoken in 2 years, so she doesn't know what Calliope's been doing lately either. How do you just give someone an apartment and not speak for 2 years? Just got things? Hermes. I ran into none other than Hermes at the Underworld. Pretty sure they didn't follow me there. They were just vibing. You know, for an idol, they don't seem that bad. They answered one question at least about how they showed up at the apartment so quickly. Apparently when an idol dies, Hermes has to be there. Whoever Hermes is at the time, I guess? They were kinda closed-mouthed about it, but they just know. Strange story, but what else is new? Would you believe Hermes has only been an idol for a year or so? They talk a lot about the old Hermes, so I guess they must have gone through something like me. They were there when the old Hermes died, and his eidolon passed on to them. How often does that happen, I wonder? I would assume it doesn't happen to the people on the chorus at all. Oops, I keep doing that. Yes, I went to Calliope's apartment. Who should I find there? Wow, seeing Apollo and Persephone butting each other's head off was really eye-opening. Do all the idols hold grudges against each other like this? If so, it's no wonder one of them got murdered. Apollo brought me to see Persephone, but who do you think almost tanked the entire thing? That's right, he did. He got all big and angry, like he was about to start hurling thunderbolts, and stormed out of the underworld like an angry child. I still can't believe it. Yeah, maybe we should make sure he's okay. If we followed him earlier, I don't know, some people like to be left alone when they're angry. Persephone laughed when I asked if Athena might be a suspect, like the suggestion was ridiculous. Athena's entire existence is based on protecting the idols, and apparently she'd never break her own rules. She sounds so fun. Hey, you know, we gotta let go of preconceived notions like that. Maybe it is her because you don't think it's her. Yeah, according to the Oracle, Persephone owns the apartment Calliope was living in, so they know each other, they were close. I guess she's next on my list of idols to talk to, though I have a feeling she's not going to be very happy to see me. Apollo gave me the lowdown on Persephone. Apparently, the whole story about how she was kidnapped by Hades, Lord of the Underworld, is more or less true. He made Persephone his bride against her will, and the other idols did squat to stop it. What the stories don't mention is how she later killed Hades and took his throne, only to have that throne taken away by the other idols as punishment for the murder. Persephone's pretty pissed about it still, and honestly, who wouldn't be? Things got ugly between Apollo and Persephone pretty quickly, until Apollo stormed out and I let him go. I mean, sure, 2 minutes before Persephone wanted my head on a platter, but now she was willing to help. Isn't that what he brought me here for? So she's my new ally now, I suppose. She says that if an idol is really behind Calliope's death and was able to cover up their involvement, finding them might be difficult. Which, you know, great. Yeah, fantastic. Well, if Persephone doesn't even have any god powers right now, does she? She has a club, she has connections, but she's not a god anymore. I actually ran into Pan again at the underworld, just by coincidence, or so he says, hanging out around the very places Tip eventually led me to. Granted, the underworld is his kind of place, but what are the odds? Neither Apollo nor Persephone seems to consider Pan much of a suspect. He's not a murderer according to them, even though his sudden involvement is really suspicious. I met Eros, the goddess sex, just hanging around in the underworld, looking like a Turkish wrestler taking a quick break from his BDSM dungeon. He was nice enough, if kind of wrapped up in his own problems. Hardly seemed like the killer type, but what do I know? Eros agreed to help me find Persephone. She either didn't know I was at the club or was avoiding me. That place is huge. After I convinced him I could make sure Persephone didn't blame him for it. Not that I'm sure I can. Frankly, I don't think he was all that convinced either. He just found me amusing, I guess. Turkish wrestler taking a break from his BDSM dungeon. That is, I have never heard a description as accurate as that. I guess I'll go to Apollo first because the thing says, well, Persephone or Pan, right? So I'll do Apollo. I don't know if we can do Persephone and Pan. So maybe later on I'll have to pick.
Grace?
Yeah, told you she'd be back.
What are you doing here? When you stayed with Persephone, I thought that... Well, I didn't expect to see you again.
I thought I'd check in on you. The way you left, well, it was quite the scene.
Ah, yes, that. I want to apologize for my outburst. Being around my family brings out the worst in me, I'm afraid. It's why I avoid them whenever possible, and why I should have resisted getting dragged into all this.
What do you mean, all this? Saving my life? Helping find your friend's murderer?
When we met, I said I would just make things worse. And I was right.
You haven't. Even if you had, isn't now the time to fix it?
Goodbye, Grace. I hope you find what you're looking for.
Oh. Ooh, that seems like a permanent locking out then. Goodbye, Apollo, I guess. If we had followed him out, maybe he would be still brooding, but willing to help. Why is this going down so slowly? Well, so much for that. I went to see Apollo at his crappy beach house to see if we could talk about things after he stormed out of the underworld, and it did not go well. I guess he helped me as much as he could, but I was hoping we'd part ways on a better note. That's too bad. Okay, well, according to what's down there, Persephone or Pan, right? I feel like Pan is a big unknown right now, so I'll just go back to Persephone. Not that she's not an unknown, but hey, at least she's willing to help me right now.
Oh, back already, are you? It's just as well. I've asked around, called in some favors, just enough to get an idea of what all the idols are currently up to. Much as I'm loath to admit it, I'm back to thinking Pan may be our prime suspect after all.
Oh. Huh.
Why Pan? I thought you'd rejected him as a suspect.
I did. It doesn't seem like his style. Pan has always preferred scheming over direct confrontation. But the thing is, how did he know about you so quickly? What does he hope to gain by sticking his nose in?
A favor or two, I guess.
Half the idols owe him a favor or two. No, he's up to something else. Until I know what it is, I can't discount the possibility that he's involved in all this.
You should know. Pan asked me to meet him at Olympus. I'm not sure why.
Oh, that's interesting. Did he happen to say what he wanted?
No. He probably wants to cash in his favor.
Huh. Yeah, that's what he does. Collect favors and then use them to gather even more favors. To what end, I dare not guess.
He's a scheming kind of type.
Should I not go see him then? If he's our best suspect...
No. Go see what he wants. It'll provide insight into his plans, if nothing else.
Just throw caution to the wind, huh?
Somehow you'll manage.
Oh, you'll back me up, right?
I want to send you to a party, Grace, one Aphrodite is holding. She and Eros know Pan perhaps better than anyone. If you go, it'll give you a chance to find out what he's really up to.
Or I could just go to Olympus.
I still have that invitation from Pan. Maybe it'd be easier if I just went to see him.
You should do both. Just don't believe a single word coming out of his mouth.
I might catch him in a lie, which is just as telling.
If so, you'd be the first.
Do you guys want to tell me why you guys suspect Pan so much? I just know about him based on vibes right now. No one's giving me any concrete story.
You know Aphrodite better than I do. Can't you talk to her?
She and I don't get along.
Like how you and Apollo don't get along?
Even more intensely than that. I once said some things about her husband. They were true, but unwelcome. Suffice it to say, if I showed up at Aphrodite's party, revealing Pan's secrets would be the last thing on her mind.
Why a party? Couldn't I just go wherever she lives and ask her?
You could, but if you go to this party, she'll be grateful.
Why?
She holds it from time to time and always asked Calliope to attend, but Calliope never would. You can put two and two together. A grateful Aphrodite might be willing to tell you what Pan is really up to.
One wild party with a goddess of love coming up.
It's less of a wild party and more of a somber affair.
You mean like a cocktail party?
Let me put it this way. Apollo will likely be there.
Gotcha.
Oh.
Expectations of fun downgraded considerably.
Whoa.
I'll let you know what I find.
We don't have to punch the man while he's down. It's alright, man. Okay. Yeah, I mean, the goddess of love throwing a party, you would have thought it's some, like, kinky sex party, but nope. It's probably something a bit more somber. I don't know. I can't tell which journal entries up. Well, it's probably not Calliope's, but I can't tell which one's updated in general. I wish there was a easier way for that. And why is the scrolling so damn slow? My god. Yeah, this didn't update actually. Pan? Was it Pan? Huh, this is interesting. I thought Apollo and Persephone had kind of dismissed Pan as being a suspect when we were all together, but now Persephone has second thoughts. She thinks he's a schemer and his sudden appearance was too convenient, so he's back on the list of suspects, I guess. I can go talk to Persephone again? Really? Wait, can I? Hi, I'm back!
I didn't realize come by any time would be taken so literally, Grace. Something specific on your mind?
No, it just sounded like... I mean, that was the main objective, you're the side objective. Ooh, it might be a touchy question.
Tell me more about Calliope. You and her were good friends, right?
We were.
And
if you had told me a decade ago that I would become close to one of the muses, I would have laughed in your face. I always considered them Apollo's creatures. Calliope, Clio, and Talia. Vapid, frivolous gods who handed off their eidolon to any artist who took their fancy. Every time I met one of them, they were someone else. Apollo called them the Sisters of Beauty, no matter their gender. Can you imagine that? That's such a stupid name.
I never thought of that. Do idols change gender a lot?
Well, we tend to seek out successors like ourselves, but it happens. With the muses, it happened frequently.
Oh.
Everywhere Apollo went, they surrounded him like a gaggle of ducklings, just like him to gather his own fans.
Just like the Oracle, then. Apollo has a lot of people hanging around him.
If you disliked the muses so much, how did you end up becoming friends with Calliope?
She sought me out. She'd become more and more unhappy on Olympus, so she decided to leave just as I had, long before. Calliope asked for my help, and I laughed in her face. Go ask one of your sycophant mortals, I told her. I mean, surely one of them has some threadbare couch you can sleep on.
Wow.
Typically, she was undeterred. She didn't just want a place to stay. She said she wanted to learn how to be truly independent from an idol who had mastered it. What can I say? I mean, I am a sucker for a well-timed compliment. I took her in. Apollo was furious. He and Calliope were barely speaking, but he was certain she'd come crawling back to Olympus. Oh, it made taking her in all the sweeter.
Oh wow, there's a lot of drama here.
After you took Calliope in, that's when you became friends?
Oh, no, not right away. I wasn't looking for a friend. What I was looking for was an opening act in the club. Calliope entertained here for years, and then eventually turned from performing to attracting new acts. She was in her element. She and I, we warmed up to each other eventually. She was more capable than I expected, and I adored her furious rants.
Calliope didn't seem like the furious type when I met her. That's hard to picture.
Oh, then you didn't really meet her. She was an idealist, and nobody could ever quite live up to her standards for very long. Her brothers and sisters, least of all. The idols needed to change, she said. They were withering away in the shadows, diminished and unwilling to save their own skins. When I joined the chorus, she expected me to change everything, as if I could single-handedly override Athena. I was to be her champion, and together we would bring revolution to the idols. Well, I was yet another disappointment. She left the club, but I gave her a place to live. We were supposed to stay in touch, but you know how it went from there.
Did she not pay rent or anything? No, you just gave the apartment to her. But what about stuff like, I don't know, water leaks or renovations? Did you never talk to her for those 2 years, really? But nothing brings people together like bitching about the same thing, huh?
I'd like to know a little more about the idols. I am one now, right?
What constitutes a little more in this instance?
Everything.
Well, what are we? Where did we come from? If an idol is a soul that moves from person to person, it must have started somewhere, right?
Ah, the big question. To which the answer is, nobody knows. I remember the original Persephone only vaguely. Indeed, I'm not even certain she was the original. I mean, was there something before her? How did she get her idol on? I couldn't tell you. Evidently, we wrote little down in those early days, or were forbidden to, and our memories only stretch back so far. Anything beyond that simply isn't.
Psst. Isn't it strange to not know where you come from? For all you know, the idols could be aliens.
Aliens? Grace, you watch too many movies.
Gods are okay, but aliens are just wacky fiction.
Fine, yes. It is strange. Our earliest days aren't the only blanks in our memories, however. We have many. And the last was the day Zeus called us all together to tell us Rome had fallen and we should prepare for war. But did that war occur? I couldn't tell you. The last thing I remember after Rome was 1,000 years later, in the 16th century. I was in a different body, feeling as if no time at all had passed. Athena calls that period the gap. And that's what it feels like. All of us experienced it, and not one of us knows why or how.
Wait, the way you say you were in a different body, that sounds like you are the little soul, the little golden orb, as opposed to the original person, the original human that occupied the body you're in right now. Because right now as Grace, I don't feel like Calliope. But maybe later on, given enough time, that'll change, and that might be part of the reason why a lot of idols end up changing their names to the Greek god names. Eventually, we'll go from Grace being like, well, yeah, I'm starting to feel more like Calliope now, and, this is a new body. My old body was the one that got murdered, but this is my new body now. It's like the soul is taking over, the idol soul.
The gap you mentioned. What was that like? Did you just wake up one day, or...?
I wasn't asleep. I lived. I had lives. I passed on my eidolon. I may have known who I was and what I was, but perhaps I was completely unaware. All I know is that one day, Athena came to my nunnery, near Trieste, I think. The moment that I saw her, all the old memories came flooding back. My life during the gap was wiped away in an instant, and it never returned. If someone did that to us, they were powerful indeed.
What about Athena? I mean, she's the one who found you, right? She must have been aware.
Athena woke up on her own, or so she claims, and spent the next century rounding up those idols who remained.
No, she's
Zeus,
fishy.
however, was gone. What became of him, what happened in Rome, we've never pieced it together. It's troubling.
Athena sounds a little fishy.
Are you willing to talk about Hades? If you don't want to, that's fine. I'm just...
Incredibly curious how I ended up murdering my husband.
Yes.
That, yeah.
One might think that my hatred of Hades began when he kidnapped me and forced me to be his bride. But honestly, that wasn't it. I hated my brothers and sisters for letting it happen, but Hades himself terrified me. He had a presence. I mean, one that forever made him the most important man in the room. And me? Oh, I was nothing in comparison. When Hades began doting on me, trying to earn my favor, I swooned that he might deign to think of me that way. For centuries, I actually thought I was in love, that the kidnapping was the best thing that ever happened to me. It's funny how our perspectives change.
If you got along with Hades for so long, what changed?
I did. I grew up. I was a trophy for Hades, a conquest that he expected to remain meek and unchanging forever. He went out of his way to keep me small. I slowly realized that, he'd always been that way. Manipulation and arrogance behind the handsome sneer. We battled for centuries. I hated him, and I told him so, but he refused to part with me. He declared that I was his and would stay in the underworld where I belonged.
And that's when you killed him?
That's when I killed him, yes. The first time one idol had ever murdered another. Thank you very much.
When you look at Persephone now, the furthest word from her is meek. I can't imagine a meek Persephone at all.
I'm guessing the other idols weren't thrilled with you killing Hades.
Well, yeah, they didn't know what to do with me. And Athena was furious that the most powerful remaining idol had been lost. See, this was before the war and before all the new rules. The chorus had never once contemplated execution, but they certainly considered it then. In the end, they decided it was better to humiliate me. They ensured I did not benefit from Hades' murder, and stripped the throne I had wrested from his grasp.
Which you weren't happy about.
I asked them where they were all those years while I pleaded for help. I was held captive, and what was I expected to do? What, lie down and take it forever because Hades was more useful to them alive?
Literally forever.
No. I stopped doing what was expected of me the day I slit his throat. May he rot in Tartarus with the Titans for all eternity.
It's kind of curious that someone like you would be in the chorus then, if they punished you, but they still let you in the chorus.
How did you go from ruling the underworld to opening a nightclub named after it?
I won it in a bet with Dionysus, god of merriment.
Okay, there has to be a story there.
Well, the story is that he was a fool, but a charming one with many patrons. They built him a nightclub as his personal playground. And it was a grand old time for Dionysus in the 1970s, I assure you, but he didn't know how to run a business. By the time disco was ready to die, so was his stupid club. So I offered to make it profitable. If I succeeded, he would turn ownership over to me. He accepted because, frankly, all he wanted to do was drink anyhow. I was successful. The club became mine, and I kicked Dionysus out for never paying his tab.
Sucks to be him.
Dionysus ever sobers up, he might decide to be sore about it, but so far, that hasn't happened.
That's all I can think of for now. I'll see you around?
Oh, yes. That's where I'll be. Around.
Wow, she was kind enough to just... Wait, what if we go again? Oh, can we really go? She might break off our partnership soon because I'm being so damn annoying.
I didn't realize come by any time would be taken so literally, Grace. Something specific on your mind?
No, not really. I'll see you later, Persephone.
Just chillin'. Just chillin', that's all. There were some updates, although I have no idea where. Can this go any faster? Finally, I know the whole story about Hades and how Persephone murdered him. You know what? Sounds like he got exactly what he deserved. Yeah, that's fine with me. Let's talk to Pan. Alone first, and then we'll go to the party. See what he has to say.
I'd say hello, Grace, but I'm afraid that look on your face might be catching.
What is this place?
It's a garden, darling. Surely even mortals have them.
This building. All those people I pass getting up here. Are they all idols?
Oh, at least some of them. Welcome to Olympus, dear Grace. Our home hidden away in plain sight. Marvelous, isn't it?
I've passed this part of the city 100 times. I've never seen this building. Was it always here, or...?
Our Lady Hecate provides glamours that allow certain things to go unseen, such as my glorious horns. Olympus is the same. Those invited see it. Those who aren't see exactly what they expect. It's not anywhere as grand as in the old country, but it serves its purpose.
I don't know, Pan. Olympus seems pretty grand to me.
As if mortals would know any better. This isn't the first time you've been here. I'm sure Hermes took you to Athena's dreary office.
That's here? Huh.
I just got teleported out.
Almost as dull-witted as the original, but biddable.
How many idols are there? I've met, what, less than 12?
Oh, I don't know, 20, 30. Our numbers have dwindled so much I've stopped keeping track.
I didn't know there were that many gods.
We're not all equally legendary, it's true. Some idols were barely worshipped, others not at all. Indeed, not all of us are idols. Some are merely immortal. Hangers-on, if you will. You'll meet them all, given time.
Hey, being an idol, being immortal but not worshipped sounds like hell, actually. Well, you wouldn't be able to do stuff like start a family without them dying and, you just find a new family and they die again. That seems kinda, But there's enough gods and idols that they don't know each other personally, all of them.
Idols live here? I mean, Calliope didn't, obviously. Apollo doesn't either.
One must have special dispensation from Our Lady of Wisdom, Athena, before they can take up a private dung heap like Apollo's.
Am I gonna have to give up my apartment?
That's rather putting the cart before the horse, darling. First, you must outlive the week.
Right. Good point. You asked me to meet you here?
I did. Though I feared you might decline, considering your rather callous rejection earlier. Regardless, my pride is intact, as is the favor you owe me, which I now wish to collect.
Fine. But just so you know, I'm not doing anything that's against the rules. I already have one trial coming.
Grace, baby, Boobala, have I ever led you astray?
Get away from me.
Not yet.
Here's the thing. A friend has begged for my help, and you're far better suited than I to offer what he requires. I'll give you a key to reach the reliquary where he resides. You help him, and then we're even. If that's not enough incentive, the reliquary is also where you'll find the lovely Hecate. A sorceress of her power could aid your quest. What do you say?
Does your friend need singing?
What is this reliquary? Doesn't that have something to do with the bones of saints or something?
Not those relics. Our relics. The relics of ancient gods. Magical treasures collected over thousands of years. Books, mainly. We store them in a faraway place so no one unsavory can get their hands on them.
Unsavory like you?
Unsavory like most. Athena has decreed that these relics are not to be used by any save Hecate and herself. A rather dull waste of so much amassed knowledge and power, but who am I to judge? I'm not leader of the chorus.
That sounds pretty rule-breaky to me.
If these relics are off limits, does that mean they're dangerous?
Some, but I'm not asking you to chase after any of that nonsense. In fact, I'd advise against it.
But what if one of those relics could help me?
My, such an adventurer you are. It's possible, but ask Hecate first. She, and I mean this with complete and uncharacteristic seriousness, is not an idol you or anyone wishes to cross.
Okay.
This Hecate, do you think she could help me?
if she's of a mind. She is the goddess of dark magic, the creator of all our marvelous glamours. If anyone can help you, it is she.
And if she's not of a mind?
Then she won't help you. Grace, that part is up to you. I can't be expected to do everything, can I?
Huh, your favor ends up in something good for me? Why are you being so nice to me?
This person I'm to help. What does he want? And why can't you do it?
Well, Grace, there are some things you're better equipped to handle than I. This, as I understand it, is a delicate matter of the heart. One that requires a muse's hand.
A matter of the heart.
What,
Love
did you think I
problems.
was sending you to rough someone up? Set something aflame? Don't be absurd. The man has an issue with his love life.
Oh,
Even if you can't help him, I'll treat the effort as worth the favor.
why are you being so damn nice to me?
So that's it? Fix up someone's love life? Nothing trickier than that?
Oh, the way you talk, Grace. It makes me blush.
Well, it's just that...
I trade in willing favors, Grace. If I didn't, no one would want to do as I ask, and then where would I be? I may seem untrustworthy, but allow me to reassure you. If I wish you harm, you will walk into that harm knowingly and with open arms.
I don't think he's out for me, but yes, he has a very sly tongue.
You're saying you can talk me into anything?
Anything you would enter into willingly and with eyes wide open, which covers a great deal. Yes.
That's surprisingly ethical of you, Pan.
I find consent wildly attractive, Grace.
I'll think about it. But no promises.
Marvelous. The gentleman you seek is named Asterion. Lovely fellow, quite harmless. I'll send a package to
Asterion?
your domicile that contains directions and the key you'll need to reach the reliquary.
I said no promises.
Well, if you decide to go, Grace, you'll still need all those things. Say hello to darling Hecate on my behalf, will you?
So if I know my Greek mythology, which I do not, I remember from playing Hades that Asterion is the name of the Minotaur. Should we be... Well, Pan has horns. Maybe I should be expecting something out of Asterion as well. I want to go to the party first, find out more about Pan. I think the ors just mean which order do you want to do it in. You can do all of them in the end, I think. I went to see Pan in his natural habitat this time, which it turns out is a giant garden on the roof of a magic office building. Go figure. Anyhow, he's calling in the favor I owe him and sending me to some place called the Reliquary, which I get to by using a magic key and finding a shipping container at the docks to fix an idol's love life. Weird, but okay. I guess I assume Pan's favors would involve, I don't know, mysterious things, illegal things? There has to be more to this. Yes, be careful, but we'll go to the party first. Have a drink? I can't figure out which thing it wants me to... Yeah, there we go. Hello, Apollo. Why'd he even show up at a party? He doesn't seem like the party type.
Fancy party? Check. Bunch of strangers? Check. Grace totally not dressed for the occasion? Check. Now, if only I knew what I was supposed to be doing here.
Grace? You're here.
Yeah, I'm invited, aren't I?
I'm just surprised you even knew it was happening.
Persephone said I should come to this. Whatever this is.
Persephone didn't tell you? Why am I not surprised?
What?
I don't like the sound of that. What am I missing?
You don't have any of Calliope's memories, right? No deja vu, recollections that aren't your own?
No. Should I have?
Not right away. For a while, you won't remember anything. We call it the veil. In time, the veil will start to lift, slowly at first, but eventually you'll remember almost everything Calliope did.
I absolutely adore how I'll have all these questions and they answer them later. We just talked about this with Persephone. Oh, like when do we eventually become Calliope from Grace at some point? And turns out, yes, we do. It's called the Veil.
There's gotta be a lot of memories. She was what, 1,000 years old?
More than that. Much more.
Then what happens to me in my piddly 20-something years? It can't be good.
Eventually, it's like a flood. It becomes difficult to separate what's you and what's them, and all who came before them.
You're saying I won't be me. I won't be Grace. Will I start calling myself Calliope?
Maybe. Eventually, most of us do, but most of us were chosen and prepared.
And I didn't choose this.
I understand. Take some time to let it sink in. If you like, we can talk about it later.
What does this have to do with the party?
Aphrodite hasn't been the same since we came to the New World. She has horrific memories of what she endured during the war. Passing on her eidolon is a way to forget, for a while. That's what this party is for.
Passing on her eidolon? To who? Oh my god.
When you say she's gonna pass on her eidolon, you mean...
She's going to die, yes, and pass her soul on to a chosen successor.
In front of everyone?
We're here to help, Grace, to make it easier for Aphrodite to do what she feels she must. We're here to say goodbye, at least for a while.
What do you mean, at least for a while?
This isn't the first time Aphrodite's done this. She's held this kind of gathering before, right?
This is her 4th, I think, perhaps 5th.
So every time the veil, whatever you call it, when it starts to lift...
Aphrodite's memories return, and eventually it is too much. We gather to pay our respects and to honor the past. Well, she still remembers it.
That's terrible. Every time she remembers, she's like, oh, you know what? I can't handle this. I gotta go.
Do you support what Aphrodite is doing here?
It's not my choice to make, Grace.
Yeah, but you must have an opinion.
Eventually you will remember what we experienced during the war, and eventually you will remember that what Aphrodite experienced was far worse. If this is the mercy she requires, I will not tell her she should not take it.
Wait, the war, is that about the whole, like, Rome thing that Persephone said everyone forgot?
Wait. Persephone said Calliope always refused to come to these parties.
She refused on principle. Everything Calliope did was on principle. She believed Aphrodite was indulging her sadness, wallowing in it. She thought Aphrodite should try harder. It was a point of contention between them. Aphrodite will be grateful you're here. Trust me.
Well, Calliope doesn't sound like the kind of person who would let themselves get killed just to pass on the eidolon or anything. I don't know. I'm young.
Okay, so what did Aphrodite want Calliope to do? What did she want me to do?
Well, knowing Aphrodite, she'll want you to make a production of it all. She's not here just yet. Until she arrives, I suggest mingling.
Mingling.
Yeah, mingling. Talk to Eros. Or we can talk more if you like. Just try to relax, Grace.
Sure, yeah. Relax. That's what this party is for, right?
And singing. Yeah, people are here because they want you to sing. Eros. Hello again. Oh, you look gloomy.
Grace!
Hey, Eros. Nice to...
Whoa.
Oh. Okay.
Aphrodite will be so happy you're here. It means so much, you have no idea.
Normally that would be extremely weird, but despite being the god of sex, he seems like a teddy bear, a harmless one, so okay, I'll let that pass.
Are you okay? You seem a bit...
Every time she does this, I don't know how to handle it. I almost want to run upstairs and demand she stop. Remind her that this never works. Sorry, I shouldn't unload on you. It's been a bad week.
Well, they had the whole mom thing going on, right? Mom and son thing going on, and then your mom periodically basically kills herself and forgets about you for however long, and then when she remembers, she goes to kill herself again.
From the sounds of it, this happens a lot.
Every 20 years or so. That's how long she can hold out until she just can't stand it anymore. Every time, Aphrodite forgets. At least for a while. But I don't. I remember everything. I'm there for the nightmares, the panic attacks, the days she doesn't even remember the war's over. And now I'm arranging her gathering again, so she can die again. And I'll watch it all again.
You would think because everyone's immortal, maybe they wouldn't treat death so finally, with an air of finality, but clearly it weighs on Eros.
Is there no other way? Does Aphrodite really need to...
To die? I've asked that so many times. She's tried magic, drugs, psychotherapy, meditation, everything we could possibly think of. For a while, she'll deny anything's wrong. It all seems fine, and I start to hope. Maybe this time will be different. Then the nightmares begin, and the memories return. More with each passing day until... I hate it, but I see her agony. I can't deny her this.
As sad as Eros is, Aphrodite is suffering even more. She's gonna remember all these times she's tried to basically off herself too, and yet it's like persistent PTSD. She can't forget, and because she's immortal, she'll never get a release from this. Temporarily, yes, but never permanently.
Maybe I just don't understand, but isn't this like suicide?
Some of the idols have committed suicide. They let themselves die without passing on their eidolon.
What happens?
What you'd expect. They're gone. Forever.
Oh.
Mother says she can't do that. She won't. Not until she sees Hephaestus again, I suspect. Not that what's happening here is anything casual. She still has to die. For a while.
So she can choose to permanently go away, but she has things... She wants to be alive, but it's also so painful that she can't bear to be alive. Oh.
Is it okay if I ask what happened? I don't mean to pry, but I'm new. I really don't know.
I know, but it happened to Aphrodite, not me. It's not my story to tell.
I think he's right, but I also want to see if I can help.
If I know what she was dealing with, I might be able to help.
Could you? I suppose it wouldn't hurt.
Well, it's the first time Calliope's at the party.
What happened is that Brother Ares happened. He missed out on the first world-spanning war, you see, so he was damned if he'd miss out on the next one. He found some jackbooted mortals, so full of themselves and their supremacy. And he told them about the idols. Then they came for us. Took us completely by surprise. Some they killed, but Aphrodite, her they captured.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh.
Aphrodite was captured, but she's here now. So she must have escaped.
She didn't. Do you know the name Hephaestus?
Wasn't he a smith of some kind? Giant hammer, lived in a mountain?
Some of that is mortal fancy, but yes. He was Aphrodite's husband, and he adored her beyond reason. When he found out the mortals were torturing her, he went mad. He was determined to save her.
Wait, they tortured her?
Nothing extreme, I'm told. They were too frightened, but they were also determined to wring every last secret out of her. So, who knows how long that fear would have lasted. Thus, Hephaestus made a deal.
With the, jackbooted guys.
No, with their enemies. That's what saved her.
What?
Then this deal is how Aphrodite survived.
It's how we all survived. It's what brought us to the new world. Hephaestus saved us all. We never saw him again. That was the deal. He would leave, make their precious weapons, and never look back. Aphrodite never even got to say goodbye. It's funny, because Aphrodite didn't even like Hephaestus when they were married. She seemed to resent every minute they were together. But now he's all she can think about.
You don't know what you got until you lose it.
You sound like you don't approve of what Aphrodite's doing.
What I want is for her to not hurt anymore. What I want is for this to end. She'll ask you to use your power as part of the celebration. Could you use it to inspire her?
I can't force anyone to do anything they don't want to, Eros.
That's not what I'm asking. I believe that deep down, she doesn't want to do this any longer. She must see it isn't working. She just needs the strength to try. Or I hope that's all she needs.
I can try. Although I kind of get the feeling it might backfire, but I can try.
I'll try, if you think it'll do some good.
I don't know if it will. I just find it hard to believe it could get any worse.
Famous last words.
Tell me about it. Do whatever you think is right, Grace. And thank you.
Let me see her first. Let me feel out her vibes. Oh god, it's all depressing people around here.
I know all these people, Grace. For as long as I can remember, I've known them. Yet sometimes I feel like I don't know any of them at all. Or they me.
You don't enjoy these family gatherings, do you?
Are they family gatherings? Like the sort mortals have?
You call each other sister and brother and mother.
Well, yes, but...
And you've been together like 100 times longer than I lived with my family. All you're missing is a drunk uncle everyone has to apologize for.
That would be Pan. But yes, I feel very much out of place.
Is Pan an uncle? He didn't seem like an uncle to me.
Why is that exactly? Wouldn't you feel more like you belonged after 1,000 years together?
Is your assumption that all those centuries bring great wisdom?
Don't they?
We get older. We have more to forget. We hold grudges longer, but wiser. No. Not so far.
Family though? Family? If you make a friend and if you meet someone, you don't like the kind of thing they do, they don't vibe with you, okay, you don't like it, you leave, you separate yourself from this person, right? But family, on some level, it's the kind of relationship that you can't separate yourself from, right? So I feel like even if your family members have really annoying habits or things that they do that you don't like, you have higher tolerance for that kind of thing. So I feel like 1,000 years of spending time with someone, being in a family with them, you would hope that all grudges just mellow out. But no, sometimes these grudges are just too much.
I spoke to Eros. He's pretty broken up over all this.
Oh, poor Eros. Each new successor, his hopes rise up once more. And then he watches the new Aphrodite crumble. Piece by piece. Only to start all over again. It's so different from the olden days. Once he was the eternal disaster, and Aphrodite kept constant vigil over him.
Maybe he feels like he owes her.
I think he's followed her into a dark void, and somewhere, deep down, believes he deserves no better.
I should get back out there.
Getting kind of heavy, huh? Oh, did you have more to say? Probably not, but we'll make sure.
Back again.
I should get back out there.
If Aphrodite has been doing this 5 or 6 times and every 20 years or so, surprisingly that only covers less than 200 years, even though they've been around for centuries, a millennium even. Well, let's see the lady of the party. I do need to get on her good side, so that we can get info about Pan. If she dies, that would be a problem. Oh, she picked somebody.
My family. Having you all here, gathered once again to see me off, it moves me. More than I can say. My loves, my darlings, my dearest friends. And you. Oh, my dear sweet thing. I dare not hope that you, with all your troubles, might sing me to my sleep. Yet here you are. Yet here she is. Huh.
It's lovely to meet you, Aphrodite. Properly, this time.
Ah, yes. Poor Calliope. Such a loss to us all. I shall miss her dearly. To have come so far, only... No, it doesn't bear thinking about. It's too much.
Is this Grace, my lady? The new muse?
Oh! What manners I have. Grace, Grace, meet the lovely mortal woman who shall tonight become the new me.
Hi, my name's Venus, and yes, it really is Venus. Nice to meet you, Grace.
Now, Venus is a pretty normal name, isn't it? Is that a surprising thing? Yeah, you're okay with this? You're gonna not be you anymore?
Hi. So, you're okay with this? You know what's gonna happen?
Of course. We've been working together, preparing for, what, 6 months now? Has it only been that long?
Must be nice to be prepared.
Ooh, I'm so sorry. Lady Aphrodite told me. I should have thought about that.
Oh, no, it's okay.
There will be so much time for you lovelies to speak later. Now, we must prepare for my departure.
Hold on. Hold on.
Are you sure we can't talk first? I really need your help, Aphrodite.
I know you do, my dear. I wish I could be there for you, but I'm afraid my time is up. But since you've shown such kindness in coming, I will ask Eros to make himself available to you afterwards. There's nothing I know that he does not. He is my son, my truest friend, my longest love.
Won't he be a little distracted?
Eros has been through this before, Grace. He knows what must be done.
Doesn't mean it's easy. Oh, damn it. We can't like emotionally appeal to her. I think this might be a little too straightforward, though. Just saying I want to talk you out of it. Will she listen? I want to start easier, but will I not get a chance later on is what I'm scared about. Okay, let's start easy.
I have to admit, it's not clear what my part in all this is supposed to be.
How could it be? You've barely just arrived, darling girl. How did you even find out about it?
That would be Persephone's doing.
Apollo! Oh, you've come after all.
You look remarkably well, cousin.
I've had a great deal of time to prepare. I assure you that would not be the case. As for you, Grace, have you gathered the true purpose of tonight's gathering?
Yes, I would like to talk to you about that.
If I had to guess, it's to remember. One last time before all your memories go away.
Each time the veil lifts, it leaves behind a little less. For me, old Olympus is long forgotten. The glory of Rome? A distant dream. I hope that one day the veil will lift and what happened during the war will also slip into oblivion.
But it hasn't.
Thus, for now we honor the memory of what was, lest tomorrow it be gone forever. Go, enjoy the gathering, Grace. Tell me when you're ready to begin.
I'm not ready. Make her sing. We gotta make her sing. Oh boy. Hello, Venus. Would you like to talk a little bit?
I want to apologize again, Grace. I really messed up.
It's okay.
It looks like I'll be doing that a lot. Lady Aphrodite said I'm ready, but I don't know.
I think you'll be fine. You'll just be like me.
Being a god isn't something you can really be ready for.
I mean, you are not gods, though. Are you? Not really.
Are we
You don't
not?
think so?
To me, you all just seem like people. Special people, sure, but flawed and lost, like the rest of us. If I can ask, what does it feel like after it happens? Do you feel different?
Yeah, we're all acting like people emotionally. Well, I guess that depends on what your definition of a god is. If you think, hey, a god equals a mortal person, then yeah, we're a god. I don't know. I have powers, I can make people sing.
I'm not sure. It happened so fast, I didn't know what to think. Calliope died, and then all this happened.
You didn't remember anything? About her? Who she was? She was just gone?
Yeah. Isn't that the point of all this?
I just wanted to be sure. Sometimes it doesn't seem like it could be real.
Hey, so how did Aphrodite pick a person without breaking the whole don't tell anybody about this thing? Why is Venus such a special name?
Your name's really Venus, huh?
Everybody asks me that. Even the other idols. Maybe that's why Lady Aphrodite noticed me in the first place. She says it was fated to be. I say it's because my mama was a diehard hippie.
Because Venus is the Roman equivalent of Aphrodite? Ah.
How do you know Aphrodite exactly?
So I was working at this homeless shelter, right? A couple of years ago, and she came in with one of the older residents. And she was there in this, like, amazing dress. And she's sitting with this guy and really listening to him. Like, they were old friends or something. I just thought, what is someone like her doing in a place like this? So, I just went over and introduced myself.
That's it? Just like that.
Yeah. She came back to the shelter a few times, but by then, I guess she'd taken an interest in me instead.
You said earlier you're okay with all this, but how can you be?
I saw a lot of people in crisis at the shelter. I knew something was wrong with Lady Aphrodite. She's in so much pain, Grace. She won't let you see how much. Eros called me one night desperate. She wouldn't stop screaming. She didn't know where she was. She's a good person, Grace. A good soul. She deserves mercy.
At your sacrifice, though?
But don't you feel this is wrong? I mean, you're ending your life. It's like some kind of murder-suicide pact.
I don't think of it like that. Lady Aphrodite is not committing suicide, and I'm not being murdered.
Aren't you? Your life is ending. It's being taken over, swallowed up by Aphrodite's grief.
I'm becoming part of something bigger. Something amazing. Or maybe you're right. It'll be terrible, and I'll end up in so much pain I'll regret it.
So why go through with it?
Because Lady Aphrodite needs me. Maybe, just maybe, if I'm added into the mix of all the people she's been, maybe things will be different.
She did say that slowly every time she's been forgetting a little more. If she's been having perfect memory recall every time, then maybe that would have been a lost cause, but she has been forgetting. And you know what, this is consensual, so there's not much we can say about this. How you doing, my boy?
Back again.
I don't think I'll have a chance to talk to Aphrodite. Not before, you know.
Not surprising. Surely Persephone must have realized that.
How? She's never been to one of these things. Anyway, I'm not sure what I'd do now.
You have two choices, Grace. Either you do as she asks and sing her to her rest,
At which point Venus won't have Aphrodite's memories yet.
or you somehow convince her to remain with us and hope she's grateful.
Oh boy.
And doesn't regret it. Or get angry at me for ruining her party.
Do what you feel is right. It's a risk either way.
Okay, well, one is more permanent than the other, so I'm always gonna choose a less permanent option. Plus, it's the one that furthers my own objectives. Plus, even if the party is ruined, they can hold another party to do it for real.
Have you spoken with Venus? She seems really...
Nice, earnest, a genuinely good person.
Yeah, I suppose.
It's not an accident. Ever since the war, Aphrodite has sought out the kindest, the most innocent souls to be her successors. She chooses them because she believes that over time, it might make her a better person. A more worthy person.
Wouldn't it be better
wow.
if she chose people who were, I don't know, more resilient?
I suppose that depends on your definition of strength, Grace.
I should get back out there.
I mean, this is all consensual. There is really not too much we can say about this. Yeah, let's try to convince her if we can. Like we said earlier, I can't make anyone do anything that they don't actually want to be done. So I'm not forcing anyone to do anything. I'm just drawing out the latent desire.
I have tried so hard, fought for so long, but in the end, I must bid you all farewell once again. But before I go, I would like us all to remember the sacrifices that brought us here to this strange new world. This time, it is with the help of our lovely Muse that we shall be guided. We let them rise. We let it happen. We waited far too long. We thought we shouldn't intervene. We were wrong. We were wrong. Since the beginning we were hidden. We held court from up above. 'Twas the golden age of reason, and I the queen of love. But a plague of hate was spreading, and there were vultures standing by. Before we fell to our knees begging, we fell from the sky. We let them rise, we let it happen. We waited far too long. We thought we shouldn't intervene. We were wrong. We were wrong. We sought shelter from the shadows, but were soon ripped from the dark. Those mortal souls that ended us were jealous from the start. They hunted me for power to fuel their psychopathic cause. And once they fell before me and worshipped all I was, they chased me down and threw me in a cage, held me prisoner for so long. I thought I'd win their hearts again. I was wrong. I was wrong. I see you have the power. It's a poisonous reward. they scorn me when I was once adored, loved by every mortal, then ripped from paradise. No one suffered greater till he made his sacrifice. The man that I ignored saved me when I fell. Yes, the husband I abhorred rescued me from hell. I thought it was a joke when it was said to me, he struck a deal with our enemy's enemy, made a secret weapon so my captors let me go. He gave up his freedom, leaving just a memory, and this love I'll never know is what he gave to me.
I have no idea if we're really following my plan here.
I can see everything, it's interesting why you feel so blue. Because of the horror show from long ago, there ain't no getting through. A husband who sacrificed and paid the price for you to be free. Wherever he is right now, you'd think somehow that...
Excuse me.
Sorry, I'm on a roll. I don't pretend to know the mind of a god. That's something I never thought I'd say. I'm not the only one here who wants to know. Is leaving now the only way to go?
I'm confused. Who are you? Thank you for sharing, little one. You're 80 years overdue. Now take your seat, you've had your fun. I think you'll find I'm a god, making note of the staggering lack of help. And so no matter what you think you know, this ceremony is the only way to go.
Don't you write anything down? Is there a statue of Hephaestus in town? Or is history just a record that slowly gathers dust? You gotta turn it up loud so the player doesn't rust. Because I find the story so unique, I'll sing in plain speak. You rest leaves the rest of your family stressed and depressed. They repress, so we'll only digress. I'm impressed by the sense of occasion, I guess, but this mess of a quest to possess is grotesque. It's happened to me, and I'll never know when Calliope inside of me surfaces. So I request that your guests reassess the process, and unless you address all this godly excess, we'll continue to guess while you repossess, and I won't acquiesce till a change manifests. I'm out.
Damn.
Sometimes taking a breath's the only way to go. Considering the options left, it's the only way to go. What is the only way to go?
I'm stunned
Aphrodite,
by the arrogance, but eloquence sparks something in me. If you
proceed,
honestly
we guarantee
can promise me all the help I need, I'll be the kind of a god you'll worship and adore like before. Thank you, Venus, a brilliant cameo.
And together we will face it, 'cause forgetting won't erase it. Moving on's the only way to go. The only way to go.
I like that one. The red options are all like raps and stuff. It's really cool. Aphrodite, please.
Mother, is it true? You've chosen to...
Live. I have chosen to live.
No.
I'm so sorry, Venus. I made you so many promises, dearest, and I won't be able to keep them.
My lady, all I ever wanted was for you to be happy. If this is your wish, I'll be with you at every step.
I as well. Always.
He kind of saved Venus.
I hope none of us regret this choice in the days to come. But thank you.
If you regret it, you can change your mind. That's a great thing about non-permanent choices.
It has to be better than doing the same thing over and over.
Does it? It could also be far worse.
Don't talk like that, Mother. We can fight this.
I'm so very tired, my loves, but I will. I'll try. Now then, Grace. You needed my help. No doubt regarding Calliope's death. Have you any suspicions as to who might be responsible?
For starters, it has to be one of the idols.
Oh? What makes you think that?
It had to be someone who knew Calliope and wanted her gone, with enough knowledge and power to fool the chorus. They didn't plan for Calliope to get away. I was an accident. They covered up everything else so well.
That's very clever. You may be right.
You're thinking of Medusa, aren't you?
Okay, I'll bite. Why would this Medusa be involved? And why isn't she a suspect?
Mother has always distrusted Medusa.
She works for Athena as a watcher. She's everywhere, lurking in the shadows. If you look anywhere, Grace, start with her.
Come now, Mother. It's time you rested. It's been a long night.
If I don't, I suppose you'll both gang up on me again. Very well.
Wait, we came here to ask about Pan, though. Oops. Well, we got a new person to look into.
So, did they have anything helpful?
Maybe? What do you know about Medusa?
Medusa? That's a rather dark name to unearth. Are you thinking of seeking her out?
I am. Do you know where she is?
Not really, no. Medusa makes it her business to stay out of sight. Athena employs her as a spy master, a hound to do her bidding, a vicious hound at that. Athena's not likely to tell either of us where to find Medusa. I can't say for certain who would know. Are you all right, Grace? You seem troubled.
Are we suspecting Medusa as an individual entity, or since she's employed by Athena, should we be putting Athena under stricter scrutiny?
What Aphrodite went through, it's a lot.
Yeah, that's the funny thing about the life of an immortal. It never ends.
Wow.
Way to really sell it, Apollo.
A lot of people would like that.
How are things with Persephone? Is she helping as much as you thought?
She seems okay so far.
Yeah, I kind of like her. Way more than I thought I would. Why?
All I mean to ask is, has she said anything?
About?
No, never mind. It's none of my business. Please forget I asked. Give my regards to Persephone when you see her.
Okay. Way to half say things and not say the other half.